Welcome back, guys. This week is very special because we have a super special guest, and he is a producer out of Los Angeles, California. He has dropped some really sick music, both his own and collaborations with other people. He just released Waiting on You and the music video for that on YouTube, so go watch it. He also just dropped his second beat tape, which is on Apple Music, and we will talk about that very, very soon. But yes, we're going to introduce Egomi. So hi, E.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Okay. So typically we kind of usually we do something fun in the beginning, but we're going to save the fun for the end. At the end, we're going to do some would you rather questions because we just like to get silly.
Okay.
But since we're here, we're just going to jump right in. First of all, congratulations on all the things.
Thank you.
You're doing sick work.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Yes. We do have some questions both from myself and from the little family that we have created somehow.
Awesome.
I think the biggest thing that everyone's kind of interested is like, who is Egomi? Because we hear these like sick beats come out, we hear sick writing and like lyrics come out, but then like you're a savage when you're making music, and like then to talk to you, you're like this like very like quiet, kind, like it's like this whole different person versus what you hear in music, and it's really interesting. So I think the question was like, is Egomi like an alter ego?
Okay. It's funny because the name Egami actually it came because that's not my government name, of course. It came to me basically because when I first started producing, I wanted to make this like album that was like 15 songs or whatever. It was like I was young. I think I was like 14 or 15, and I wanted every song to be a different genre. And so in my head, I was thinking, oh, I could name the album like every genre of music imaginable or something. Like it was really just, I mean, looking back, I'm like, oh, that was not a great artistic idea, but whatever. I made the whole album. It ended up being terrible, but I kept the name, which was every genre of music imaginable, and the acronym is EGOMI. And I just used it as myself, as my own. And that was before I was ever releasing music. So then when I started releasing music, I just went under that acronym, that name. So
I love that. That's sick. Would you ever release that?
Would I ever like put that out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah? Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I probably will at some point in the future. I think like, if I ever get to the point where like, I build my name big enough to where like, tons of people are curious or asking about it and stuff like that, then I would totally make a video about like, this is how the name came about and stuff like that, so.
That's sick. You said
14. What?
You said you were 14?
Yeah, yep.
Were you producing at 14?
So I was kind of. I mean, I had some software, but I wasn't really that good. It was kind of like, that was like at the beginning of me just like dabbling around on the computer. At first I was using like Audacity, which is this free audio program that's yeah. So I was making music in Audacity just like with a Radio Shack microphone and stuff. So I mean, come a long way.
That just dated all of us a lot. Is Radio Shack even around?
Yes, actually it is. It is.
I think we talk about all the malls here.
We still have them out here.
You said Radio Shack, and I was like, what?
I know. I thought they all went out of business, so I don't know. Maybe they haven't, but
that's amazing. That's so cool, though. And I remember, so for anyone who like doesn't follow E, you guys go live a lot on TikTok, and I know you were talking about, sorry, I think of you guys as like an entity now, but you were talking about you started picking up music and instruments really young. Yeah?
Correct. Yep.
It's like
very young.
How young were you when you started?
So let's see, what was the first thing I did? I started playing piano, I think in first grade, I believe. So it was like I was pretty young,
Jeez.
and but I wasn't like, I didn't like it. I wasn't that good at it, honestly. Like my brother and I started playing piano at the same time, and he was really good, and he went on to continue playing piano. I eventually just quit because I was like, I don't like this. Like it's not, very fun to me. And then I was in the choir a little bit, but then ended up quitting that. But I think around like seventh grade, I
Mhm.
wanted to learn drums, and so I was like, oh, like Mom, I want to get drums. I want to play drums. Like it sounds so fun. My friend had a drum kit, and it was really fun. And they were like, we are not having a drum kit in this house. It is loud. You quit your last instrument you tried, so we don't want to spend money on. It's like,
Mhm.
which makes perfect sense. But so I ended up choosing guitar, and then fell in love with music with guitar. I played from seventh grade on for probably a few hours a day. I remember even in like eighth or ninth grade, I would play like, at least 2 to 3 hours every day because I just loved it, and I fell in love, and then started writing and stuff like that, and it just went from there. So
You play beautifully, just to throw it
thank
out
you.
there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Thank
So do you prefer like the singer-songwriter part of things or producing more, or is it like kind of even, it's like a battle there?
Yeah, I like all of it, and that's been a struggle of my own because figuring out even branding wise has been difficult because I have a lot of people who follow me who are producers, and I kind of built up my name as a producer, and so a lot of people who follow me are beat makers, and they make hip hop and electronic music and stuff like that. But then at the same time, I also I write music and I put out songs and stuff, and I'm really just starting to put out more music that I feel like would build a completely different fan base. So it's been very difficult to figure out like, okay, what are my brands going to be? And so eventually I just switched it. So I have a Beats by Egomi brand, which is like all my production stuff, my tutorials, and then Egomi, which is just like my artist stuff. So
It was so funny.
yeah.
Mike was like, I can't find E's new EP, and I was like, Beats by Egami. You gotta look at the other name. And he was like,
I know.
oh.
The transition, I just made the transition recently, and so it's been kind of a little rocky, just
Yeah.
like getting everything sort of sorted out and having it be clear like what is what. But I think in time it'll clear itself out. So
Yeah. How how do you feel about, I feel like a lot of times it comes up like E1 House of Beats. Like, is that the thing that you want to be like, or do you feel like that's what you're known for right now? Like if someone were to like notice you, like that's more what you're known for right now?
yeah, for the most part, because I built a huge following from doing that. Or I mean, the
Yeah.
majority of my following, I would say, it is from people who watch that show, and because before I was doing like battle beats and stuff like that, so I would, I would go to beat battles, like some local ones in Texas, and then some like I would do internationally. So I would travel to like Atlanta or in LA. I would do some like beat battles and stuff like that. And I kind of built like a bit of a following doing that. But when I got on House of Beats, that was like, that really boosted my following a lot. And so I think the majority of people remember me. They're like, "Oh, I started following you from House of Beats and whatever." And it's
Yeah.
like, it's fine. It's cool. Like it's definitely, that was a big thing, for me. So
I mean, that's pretty awesome though. I watched like some snippets. I kind of like click through. I feel it's so funny because
Yeah,
like
so did I.
yeah, because like I
Mhm.
really get hooked on E's beats. Like I really do. I
Mhm.
listen.
that's
I'm pretty
awesome.
sure I annoyed the shit out of all my clients yesterday. Dude, I was vibing so hard yesterday. I've never been so in the zone at work. I'm like fucking like painting color on here, and I'm just like jamming, and my clients are just like, but like they look super chill. So I was like, whatever, we're gonna keep going. But I get like I really like what you put out, and there were some of like the opposing artists who obviously like aren't bad, but like I wasn't like vibing with their stuff as much. So you definitely, I think what's interesting about your music, in my opinion, as someone on the outside, it's kind of like Cole was saying, there's a story even behind your beats. Like I feel like it's much easier to put a story into lyrics. It's not as easy to put a story into just sound. And I feel
Yeah.
like you really do a really great job with that.
Thank you. Thank
Very,
you.
very welcome. Maria,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm commandeering. Do you have any questions? I have a whole list. That's why I'm just like rapid
You,
fire.
you have a list, so
Yeah.
I'll interject. I'll interject and interrupt you as they come along because they usually do. Hey,
Man.
first, when did you move? When did you move from Texas?
Yeah, so I moved out to LA at the end of 2018, so in like November,
Okay.
and that's when Lene and I first, we had met at one time before we started looking for an apartment together, but I came out here I think in October, and we were looking for apartments, and then we found one and moved in November. But I had actually previously, before I moved out here, I lived in Atlanta for a period of time as well, back in 2016, and then moved back to Texas. So that was a thing for a little while.
Okay.
I think that the story of like you guys meeting and then just getting an apartment together is so cool because we see you guys now. We didn't see you guys then, so we see you guys now, and it's like you guys just seem like you've known each other forever, and it's really cool.
Oh, what'd I do?
Uh-oh. No, you're
There
fine.
we go. Okay. I turned off my camera or something?
Yeah, it
There
did
we
for a
go.
second. It's fine. I've noticed, and I'm a big fan of this, I've noticed that every day on your story, you are stating your gratitude every day. What is
Yeah.
that about?
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I love it. Is that like just a thing that you're trying to do this year?
Yeah, I started at the beginning in January 1st. Really, I was just like I posted that story that just says today I'm thankful, and then I was like I'm gonna post this again, and so I posted the second day, and then I was just like kept posting it, and I think it's a good reminder for me, to just remember to be thankful, and then hopefully whoever watches the story also, and
Yes.
but mainly I've noticed it's been helping me too, because sometimes it's easy to forget, so it's just like me starting to do that and just trying to remember to post that I'm thankful every day. I think it's a cool thing. It's a good reminder for
Yeah.
myself.
I think it's more impactful than you probably realize because I mean, me personally, and I know that there are other people in the little circle that, everyone goes through stuff, and sometimes it is nice. Like, I used to be really big about waking up and, okay, like, 5 things that I'm grateful for today. And, like, that was something that was really important to me because I wanted to start my day off right. And, like, life happens when you're an adult and it's just bullshit. And like some days I forget. And like some days I forget. And it's really funny. Like Maria knows I've had a rough go in the last week or so. And sometimes honestly, I pass through that in your story and I'm like, it could be so much worse. And and like, it's like a reminder, just like
That's
it could be
awesome.
worse. Like you're good. So just know that you are making a difference. And I am going
That's
to use that
awesome.
segue to ask you how you feel about this little family of people that you guys have created.
Man, it's honestly mind blowing because you know both Lene and I separately have been working on music for years and years and years, and then together for this last year or so, and we've been I think we always believed in ourselves, and we always knew that we could get our music in front of a bunch of people and build fans and stuff, but the music industry is so hard to break into.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I've known that even as a producer, because I separately had to break in as a producer, and it took me forever doing beat battles and showcases and all sorts of things before the people who hosted House of Beats ended up finding me, and so it's just like it's very difficult to just break in. And so I think even the fact that there's been people who have found our music and vibed with it and liked it and started following us, and I think that's just been amazing. And then on top of that, everyone is so cool, and everyone has been so nice and kind, and I think that's really amazing, even just to see that, like, wow, we did something that made a little bit of an impact in people's lives, and that's so special. There's not much in life, I feel like, that's as important.
Yeah, but
as that.
you also don't see that very often too.
No,
like
Mhm.
at all.
You
And
guys, go ahead.
it's refreshing. It's very
Mm.
refreshing.
Yeah, I think that you guys are definitely doing it right because I feel like what, in my opinion, again, on the outside, just as someone who's always been really invested in music, like I feel like you see the band and then you might find culture with them, you might not, like their culture
Mm.
might be like them and their sound, but you guys, you're starting that like flat out. And we talk about utilizing social media to get yourself out there, and how you have TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and whatever the fuck else comes out, and you guys are just doing it right because you're not just like going on, you're like dropping my new mixtape, it's gonna be fire, boom, bye. You guys are like really, you guys really care about people, like
Mm.
it's very obvious. And you guys let everybody in on your life, like we know
Mm.
what your house looks like and like we all have
Yeah.
like actual conversations. And I think that you guys are doing it very differently where you have, and I don't know if you guys really understand the impact that you've made, because like this little like fan base that you guys have grown, like we're all in like a giant group chat together, and like we all help each other through like dark times and through whatever's going on in
So
life. And
awesome.
we've all just been it's really become like a little support group. And like I think it's really really amazing what you guys have done. And when we did our podcast with Linnea, we talked about the law of attraction, and I feel like you put out like
Mhm.
we talked about her vibes, but you put out this like very wholesome and kind and caring vibe. And I feel
Mm.
like when you put that out, you get that back. And I have not talked to a single person in that little circle of people who they're not bad people, they're not hateful, they're all so sweet. And most of them are younger, but there are some who are older than me, and they're all so sweet, and they genuinely care about each other, and they care about giving back, and they want to like meet up and see each other. And like y'all did that, like
Yeah.
that's amazing, just like with
Yeah.
your music.
It's
um
crazy.
yeah, you guys have had like a crazy impact. And the thing that right now, like it's this little group, but like there's always new people coming in and talking, and every couple days there's someone new added into a group chat, and I'm just like, this is
Yeah.
amazing, like it's so
Yeah.
cool.
I think
But that
I,
it's
I
cool.
I do really think it's important that like you attract who you are, I feel like. And so I think that if if you're going to be a shitty person, you're don't expect like fans who are going to, be like
Mhm.
hella sweet and nice and supportive. And
Mhm.
like it's crazy because like,
Yep.
you know both Lene and I have been hurt and screwed over in the industry, and we both know separately at separate times, and we both know what that feels like. And it's hard and it's tough. And I if it were up to me, I would love to be able to finish my career at however many years old, when I die, the day I die, and know that I conducted business right, and I didn't screw people
Mhm.
over, and
Mhm.
I like I did things as best as I could,
Mhm.
just because I don't want to be a shitty person, like,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's really important too, because like, yeah, that's a big factor.
I think that as a producer, that's an amazing thing, and I'm going to tell you why. Um, so Maria, you know this, when I first found E
Mhm.
and Linnea, and like I listened to the music, but then okay, that's fine. Like Loki started getting to know you guys. Um,
Hmm.
you guys really inspired me to like try and jump back in it, even on like the ground level. Like I'm not like whatever, but it's fun to dabble and like see what I can do.
Yeah.
I like when I was younger, that was the career I wanted. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a
Mm.
singer songwriter,
Oh
and
wow.
that was my goal. And it got ripped apart because of producers who expected things like
Mm.
sex in return for recording,
Oh damn.
or yeah. And like it happened to me separate times, and at that point I was like, fuck it, I'm just meant to sit around a campfire with my friends and sing music. And it's
Damn.
disappointing that like there are
It is.
people like that in this industry. This guy was like, oh, you can record for free with me because I feel like you're going to be my breakout artist, and I was like, sick, yes. And then he like came on to me, and I was like, whoa, I was like 19. This guy's like 35. And he's like,
Whoa.
oh, it's not free. And I was like, whoa. And like, this dude's like worked with big names. And I'm just like, what is, yeah. So it was like, it's very discouraging. And it's sad because you hear that even from people who have like made it, and then they come out later and they're like, but this is what I had to go through. And that's so disappointing. So when I got to like, you guys are like my age, and you guys just are, you can tell you just love music. Like that's just, it's what you do. Like that's what you guys bleed and breathe and eat and sleep music. And it's nice. That was like very inspiring to me, that like there are good people in this industry somewhere. You just have to find them.
Yeah.
That, I thought about that a lot. And like all my friends who pursued music, like they've tried to do it on my own, or on their own. And all I can, like, that's the only advice I can give to them, or anybody else who listens to this and is pursuing it. Just like you just got to find the right people and the good people. Like they do exist. And I just really, I appreciate that you guys are you're genuinely good people. And also I want to put on record that I've never heard you curse before you just said shitty. So or I'm not being wholesome. I was like, oh, he said a bad word. I like that got me.
Man.
I cuss like a sailor, so when other people don't, I notice it.
She's the reason why we had to put explicit on our podcast.
Hey, it's all good. It's funny because I definitely don't think I swear as much as Linnea does, because she's similar. She'll swear quite a lot, but I will occasionally. But I honestly didn't really grow up that way, and so it's more just after I moved out that it was kind of like, or moved out the first time, that it was kind of like, all right, like.
It kind of reminds me of like when your grandpa cusses but doesn't want to cuss in front of the kids. You know what I mean? Like Mike's like that. Mike will say "damn it," but he's like "damn it," and he like says real quiet. And it's like, and I'm like, all right, grandpa, like sit the fuck down. What are you? When we met, he was like, I love that you're so foul mouthed. So I thought he was gonna be like really foul mouthed, but he's not. And then he's like, do I not cuss as much as I think I do? I'm like, how angry are you in your head? Like, it's so
oh, that's funny.
When it comes out of wholesome people, I'm like, oh, you're adorable. I'm low-key dying. It's fine.
Oh man.
I didn't start cussing very much until Heather and I started hanging out.
Oh, don't say that.
A couple years ago, yeah.
That's okay. My kid uses vulgarities in proper context, and I don't know if I'm proud or if.
Oh man.
We've just. Yeah, I try to just nip that. Sometimes. So I'm gonna try and get back to being some like semi-professional. Okay.
Wait a minute. We're not professional here. Come on now.
Well, he's wholesome, and it makes me want to be more wholesome. He really inspires me to be a better person.
Damn shit, fuck. There you go. Oh man.
He is inspiring me, okay? He's inspiring me to tone it down. Oh, it is hot as shit in this house. Excuse me. Oh my god. I'm like sweating. Okay.
Oh man.
It's always a good time. Okay. Oh, let's take a breather there for a second. So we were on live, and I was like, does anyone have questions for E? When I get to the podcast, and Caleb goes, who hurt you? And what are the stories behind the songs from the Atlanta project? And I was like, I told him, like, I'm gonna ask him who hurt him. Like, I know you're joking, but I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, that's a long story, but I can summarize it.
Okay.
I'll try to summarize it as best as I can, especially across this next year. I'm going to be releasing a lot more songs that have to do with it a lot more. Like, definitely some of my most intense songs will be released later this year that are kind of about that. But basically it was more that I grew up very sheltered, and and as I came to my own, I had a huge identity crisis. And then after going through the identity crisis, I started learning that a lot of things that I was originally taught were not true. And so that just that just totally messed with my brain. And like, I mean, for years, I mean, I had to get therapy and stuff like that, even because just like, I don't know, just like, um, like growing up around people, like not my immediate family, but a lot of other people around me who were like, not racist, but I just like, um, very, very, like, so they're homophobic, very, basically I grew up very, very conservative Christian. And,
This
if you guys are
sounds
Christian or
very
conservative,
familiar.
then that's
Either you're
fine.
fine.
Very
But
familiar.
like, I grew up that way, and then basically started realizing a lot of internal issues with the beliefs that I had. And and it messed with me, I think, more than it probably should have. But I was also very deep into it. And so then when I started realizing, like, I was like, well, there's nothing wrong with, like, being gay, or there's nothing wrong with, like, because the first thing was the Black Lives Matter stuff. Everyone around me was like anti Black Lives Matter and everything like that. And
Wow.
but the more I started looking into it, and especially with me working with hip hop artists mostly, because I, as a producer, I was mostly making beats and stuff like that, and I started to get to know, like the majority of my friends were Black, and the majority of my friends were like either Black or like Latino, and so talking to them, I started just learning a whole nother perspective, and I was like, holy shit, I think that what I used to believe was actually misguided. And I think I can understand why people believe the way that they believe, when, like, the way I grew up, but it's a very misguided like sort of mindset. And it took me a while to realize, because I was so deep into it. And then it spilled out into everything else. It spilled out into at the time, my beliefs and my, everything. And then sort of everything crashed down. And then it was like, okay, I'm starting from scratch. I don't know what
Yeah.
I believe about anything.
Well,
And
when you have something like that happen, and that right there is a North Texas thing.
yeah.
That's everywhere out here, and which is probably why I get along more with like Heather's generation than my own, because I'm 40, by the way.
Okay.
And and that's the way that I grew up as well. And like, there's stuff that my parents still don't know about me that, I mean, of course everybody else does, but
That's so funny.
and yeah, I know, because you don't think that way. You think a certain way whenever you're young and you're raised on certain values and certain
Yep.
things. And then when you go out and start experiencing life, you're like, I don't believe this way. So that's very much a Texas thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting to me. Yeah, because like I grew up outside, like between like DC and Baltimore, and like, so I grew up where I was like the minority, and like I was surrounded by people of color and different religions and different lifestyles. My dad went to Catholic school from like K through 12, and so he's like a super atheist now. And like, so and my mom's like, she's, I think, like Baptist, or I don't know what the fuck my mom is, but whatever.
Yeah.
She's Christian on some level. And like, I grew up in like this weird mixture of shit. And then like my mom was the person who would like take in the rejected gay and trans and whatever kids, no matter what their issues were. Like, so many kids lived in and out of my mom's house. So I saw so many different types of people growing up that as I got older, like there was no possible way I could believe anything bad. So, but what I do think I think it takes a lot of strength to like face that and to be like, fuck, I need to make a change, or like, wait, like you said, like maybe like what I was taught, that's not real. And that takes
There's
a
not
lot
a lot
of
of people do that.
fuck no, that's a lot of looking inward, and I think a lot of people don't want to do that because it's easier to just keep going the way you're going.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, and Marie, you'd probably, relate a lot. But I mean, even most of my friends that I grew up with, and all my best friends, it's hard now to, it's hard for me sometimes to even have conversations with them or talk with them because,
I don't.
yeah,
I don't.
because it's
There's
very
like a handful of them.
Yeah, same. I noticed that once I moved out, I really, it helped me realize, like, okay, these are the few handful, like small handful of people that I still will stay in touch with, but most everyone else, it's like, it's hard because you just bring up things that I don't, agree with or believe in, or whatever. So,
and that's the thing. I mean, it was like that with my first husband, and then I completely changed with my second husband because he's like completely different. And I mean, he knows like everything about me,
That's cool.
and he accepts it, and he was raised the same way. I mean, but luckily the person that raised him as you love everybody.
Yeah.
And I like that was instilled
Yeah.
in him. And even nowadays, it's even hard to just be around, my parents, just because I hear things, and I'm like, I don't, and it makes me so mad. And I'm not that type of person. I am not the type of person to just get mad and go off on somebody, but I sometimes so badly want to go off on them. And it's just, I try to keep my distance. So it's hard. It's hard when you were raised like that. So
one thing I did want to add in, though, quickly, is that my parents did a really, I think, I didn't get it from my parents, and I do want to say that my parents, I think, did a good job, at least in even if they don't agree with the direction that I've been going in recently, they've still loved me through it. And I think that's more than I think a lot of other of my friends' parents, or like I have other friends' parents that they came out to their parents or something as bi or gay, and then their mom didn't talk to them for a month or something, and but
that's what would happen to me.
Yeah, that honestly, that sucks. And that's why I am grateful. My parents have been very cool. Even like, I told them that I don't believe in, Christianity anymore, and just have been figuring out what I believe. I'm kind of still in like okay, what do I believe and everything. But like, even me telling them that, they, they were really cool with it, and they handled it well. And obviously, I'm sure it's hard as a parent hearing those kind of things, if if they tried to instill it in me and I didn't turn out obviously exactly the way that they probably would have imagined in a perfect scenario. But they have been cool with that, at least. So I am grateful for that, and I think having them has been a little bit of a grounding that I think, had I not had that, who knows, it might have even been a lot harder, because I think having my parents, even if they're not necessarily agreeing with what I'm doing, at least still knowing that they love me, I think has been huge.
I think that's such a big deal with I mean, that's got to be so much bigger with your kid, because I mean, my kid's 3, like she doesn't make any huge life decisions right now, so right now I don't have to fight with her about those things, but like but like I feel like you should be like that with anybody. And like this is where people like to get really judgmental of others, and I don't agree with that. But I have a big like mindset of you don't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with you, but can we just respect that we don't agree. And like, you know, you have your reasons and I have mine. If we're not going to change each other's minds, that's fine, but we still have to have a respect for each other. It's that simple, you know, and I feel like just in general, society has a really hard time with that. And I love that, like, you're saying, like, your parents they might not agree, but they're like, we love you and we're going to support you. Because also not everybody has, you know, that situation with their parents. Shit, my parents don't have talk to me half the time because they don't like, you know, how I fucking sneezed the other day. Like, it's, you know, I'm like, whatever, it's fine, you know, but it's just, it's a matter of who you grew up with. And I think that's really great that they're so supportive. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the kind of parent that I really, really strive to be too. I want my kids to be able to come to me with anything. And before, I know that before when my son was having issues, my kids are teenagers, so I know when he was having issues, he felt like he couldn't talk to me because he thought that I was judging him every time, and I had to actually sit down with him and say, look, this is the reason why I'm thinking this way, and I'm not upset at you per se. It's some of the decisions that you have made, and this is why. And then he was able to explain to me why he has made those and everything, and it's opened a better communication, and it's strengthened our relationship. And that's why I wanted to be that type of parent instead of the one that my parents were like, this is how it is, and it's gonna stay that way, you know. Yeah, it's definitely hard coming back from that, being in that dynamic.
Yeah. So man, if that, you know, that's where life was. Where are we now? Like, if you had to talk about like your day-to-day lifestyle mindset, like I saw, we all follow you guys, so we saw you guys goal planning and talking about new music. I see your gratitude posts. Like, where do you feel like your mindset is now?
Now, now I definitely am in a better spot than I was over the last few years, which is good, great. Which is very good. I think even starting as of the second half of 2019 of this last year, you know, I could definitely tell. I think I was starting to heal a little bit and starting to, I think, just come into my own and kind of just realize sort of who I am and a little bit come to, you know, some sort of conclusion of what I believe, even if I don't, you know, like know per se. But I would say on that level, I think I feel like I'm a lot healthier than I was 2016, 17, 18, first half of 2019. But I think, like musically and stuff like that, I'm also just like, I think I'm just really excited to see, you know, what's going to happen too. I definitely feel like I'm in a much better position than I have been in, I think, probably ever, you know, musically and even just, you know, in my own life, at least since, you know, before when I was, you know, back when I was like innocent and in the days when I didn't have any problems. But, but, you know, I definitely feel like I'm, you know, I'm becoming more of who I will, you know, I will eventually be, you know, I'm turning into that person, the person who I want to become. So I think that's pretty cool. And
how does that feel? I feel like stages of transition feel really crazy, but I feel like it's like a good chaos almost. But how are you feeling through like that transition?
Yeah, the transition was terrible, but the start of it, all of that was like just a living hell. But but more of a mental hell, I would say, because obviously all the people around me, it's not like anyone was, you know, I didn't have any physical trauma in my life, thankfully. No one's ever done anything, you know, to me per se on a physical level. It's all just been mental. But I think the mental stuff, I feel like, you know, is huge because, you know, like, even, I don't know. I think mental stuff can just be like just really difficult to get over. But I think now that I'm past the majority of that, you know, and after getting therapy and everything, I think it was just like, okay, it's good. Like I have a better grasp and I feel better now. And now the transition is, it's kind of exciting. It's a little scary, being on this side of it, I think. Because it was really only recently even that I, kind of told my parents just like some things, and so it's still like some of it's kind of fresh and it's a little scary, and I think figuring out for myself is a little bit scary, and sometimes still telling my friends is scary. But I think it's been really good for me because I'm being honest with where I'm at. And for a long time, honestly, years, I was scared to tell, like, because I was like I was the head worship leader of the entire church, and I would play up on stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, and I would sing and all this stuff, and that was what everyone knew me as, this like perfect Christian kid,
Yeah.
and then basically like, that kind of messes with you when you're like, this is how I'm every mom's dream child.
Yes.
And now, this is happening. And,
Right.
And now it's like, it was hard to even just be honest with people. If people are like, how are you doing? Or what do you think about this, thing or whatever. And, and then it's like, but now I really made it a point, I think second half of last year, to just be like, I got to be honest with everyone. And if someone asks me a question about Christianity or whatever, or something, politics or whatever, I'm just going to be honest, and say that I don't agree with it anymore, or don't believe it anymore, or whatever. And, but in a kind way, that's not, because I feel like it's easy if you're just like, oh, well, I don't believe it and you're dumb and what, like in a way that's peaceful and, stuff. So I think that was big for me, just coming to that realization.
I just don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah. It's hard.
I don't.
I am so proud of you as a human, like one human. No, like that's such a real thing. Like, oh God, just like there's so much empowerment behind being like, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. And I love that you are very, like, you didn't hide about a lot of people hide about therapy when they have a name.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And the fact that you don't even apologize for it. I mean, that's like the best thing ever. And to tell you what, when we started this interview, I seriously did not expect this, like, at all. So I seriously have a newfound respect for you. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is the second time I've been speechless, and it's with both of them. I quit. I'm done. I'm kidding. That's so wonderful, because you guys, I just love that you're open, because you have young kids listening to you. And when I say young, I mean, 17, 16 and older. But I mean, like, there are kids who are afraid to ask to go to therapy, who don't believe in therapy, or they believe therapy is brainwashing, or they think they're going to get looked down on, or whatever. And I've been in therapy for fucking 7 years. I have no shame in that. I work very hard on myself because I don't want to be a shitty person, and I want to be better than I was yesterday. And that's the most important thing. But hearing that from just some random person, hairstylist in North Carolina, it's like, okay, whatever. Hairstylists are crazy anyway. But hearing that from somebody with a platform, that's so inspiring for people who might be afraid to take that leap. And I also believe that a lot of, even Maria and I have gone through it in the last few years, just like trying to find out who you are and unapologetically be that person. And Maria pointing out, like, you didn't apologize for it. You're like, this is who I am, and that's fine. That's that's a really strong quality. And like, yes, I have a lot of respect for that, and for you for believing in yourself to that extent. You are absolutely inspiring, and I love you, so it's fine. I'm sorry, I tell everyone I love them way too much.
It's all good. It's all good. Spread the love.
good thing.
Spread the love.
I try. It was so funny. I was talking to Maria, and I was like, I don't know, like, why I'm getting all these good people. Like, all these good people are coming into my life, and she was like, Heather, you're attracting it. And I was like, okay, like, that's I'm just, I see. I'm still working on that unapologetic belief of myself. So thank you for that.
Oh, it's okay.
Aren't we all?
And
Aren't
I'm
we
way
all?
older than you are.
I do want to ask. So, when you were younger to now, like, who influenced you, and who influences you now?
Let's see. Musically, I would say when I was younger, it was very kind of like my name implies, every genre of music imaginable. I listened to like everything, and I mean, I loved hard rock. When I started producing, I was making dubstep, and I fell in love with rap, and worked at a hip hop record label and started making beats for people. And but I love singing, singer-songwriter music. So it was kind of, my inspiration was sort of everywhere. I just kind of liked a little bit of everything, and I think it comes out in my music because it's kind of like a little bit of it's kind of, my music's a little bit everywhere. It's not very focused at this point, which is fine,
No, it's great. I love that.
But and honestly, I'd say now it's probably the same. Like, I feel like I do listen to a lot of pop. I listen to a lot of hip hop. I'll still listen to rock a bit. I don't listen to much dubstep anymore, but I'll still listen to it occasionally, like electronic music and stuff like that. So musically, I would say that. But from just a person standpoint, like my inspiration, like someone who inspires me, I would say, actually, a guy from back home in Dallas, Texas. He was kind of like a mentor of mine, just kind of like a life mentor for a period of time, especially when I was going through, a lot of this stuff. His name is Bill. He just has a heart of gold. Like, he's very, like, he understands what it means to love people, I think. And that really inspires me, I think, to just want to love everyone and have compassion on people, and stuff like that. And then I would also say my girlfriend too. She's very much the same way as well. And so it's cool to see, like, she just sometimes, like, blows my mind, because I'm like, man, you are the coolest person ever. Like, she's just like so chill or something, or like something might happen, or I might say something stupid, like not even on purpose, and then she'll be like, oh no, I understand that you didn't mean it like this, like you meant it like this. And I was like, you're just a goddess. I love you. So I would say, yeah, those, and the funny thing about those two people too, Bill and then Georgia, my girlfriend, is that is that Bill is he is Christian, and he's conservative. And then my girlfriend is, born in a hippie town, raised agnostic, has lesbian parents, and they're two, what you would think is opposite sides of the spectrum, but they don't live up to the stereotype. They genuinely are people who are just really, really good, and good, like, inspirations of people who I want to be like. And I think that's kind of cool, because it also shows that, everyone is unique, and you can't just hate a stereotype, because, for a while, for me, I remember I was just upset at a group of people,
just
and then
because.
it's like, yeah, because they hurt me or whatever. And it's like, not really, it's, I mean, like, kind of, to an extent. Like, sometimes the ideologies of some, a certain group of people is bad or negative, but that doesn't mean that every single person within there is negative, so I think it's another just cool little perspective thing. So
I have seen you post, like, little like, oh, it's so cute. He posts little duets with his girlfriend, and he's like, she's so talented. I'm just like, relationship goals. Just over here, like, crying over my phone, like, oh. Let someone love me this much. What? It's so cute, dude. It's like I've only seen a couple of them pop up, but it's the cutest shit. And I was like, oh my god, these two. Oh my god. Or like she'll pop on a live and he's like, is that Georgia? And I'm like, oh my god.
Oh man.
How do you feel about being made into a gummy character?
Oh man, that.
Yo, wants to get a gummy tattoo on him for you.
I know. Oh man, all the jokes have been so like the boom boom in the bass thing. That hashtag is just hilarious to me, and then like the Egummy is brilliant. It's like I should make merch. Like I'm literally in the process of like making a merch store right now, and I'm like I'm like I should just make a shirt that has an Egummy on it because it's just so funny.
They made a little gummy with his hat and a little like
drum pad.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Do you have, before I forget, do you have any merch, like the Jaded merch?
So I've designed it and I've gotten the sample copy. And I was just trying it on a couple different types of hoodies. Like I tried it on a Champion hoodie and then like a Gildan hoodie. And I'm just trying to, right now I'm in the process of seeing just like what fits best and what's kind of the best for the price. So I'm in the process of like figuring out what kind of hoodie I want, and that's like it's taking a little bit of time, but I think I'll figure it out really soon. My goal is to have the store up definitely by the end of January. So with the hats, this hat.
That the arrow,
with the arrow on it, and I'll have this one's kind of dirty, so it'll look better than that. But that, and then the hoodie. Also probably a gray arrow hat and then probably a shirt too.
Yes, let me support you.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
So by the end of January, all that should hopefully be up. But it is a little bit of a process to get it all figured out.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, I know.
Yeah.
I would like to acknowledge the fact that like, okay, so it doesn't matter if you're watching or listening. We post this on YouTube too. Oh, you know that, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at E or if you hear E talk and then you hear him sing, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Like, you'll be on live and you'll be like, oh my god, E, you're so cute, or you're so funny, and he's like, oh my god, stop. And then he just like brings out this fucking just savage voice, and I'm like, who is that man? Be my friend and sing with me. Like, I okay. I would like to point out that your Waiting on You video, I probably account for like 100 of those views. I'm just like, there was one day I was just like sitting in my little, I have like my own little like office space, and like it would stop and I'd be like, refresh. And I was like, I gotta help E. And I was just, if you don't like the song, we'll shut the door. We gotta get the views up. Let's go.
Wow, thank you so much.
That was shot beautifully.
Oh yeah, Jordan, the guy who filmed it, he is so freaking talented, and randomly just happens to move in downstairs, and so we like our neighbors, and he's so talented. It turned out amazing.
So how are you feeling about the attention of the video? I know like E did a little giveaway, and like for people who shared, I was very fortunate to win. I'm not kidding. Your CD is going in a shadow box with whatever note you put on it, and it's going on my wall. And then one day when you're super famous, I'm gonna be like, do you see that? That's my friend. Okay, bye. Like that's just gonna be the story behind it.
You can like sell it for like a couple $1,000s.
Oh, I'm never selling it. Also, like I told Linnea this when we did it, when I'm gonna tell every guest that comes on here, like, your family now, we're friends. So I will one day be like that, even if you don't talk to me, I'm like, that's my friend. That's
do it.
Like so many years ago. I know he's famous and I'm insignificant, but like that's my friend.
That's true.
No,
man.
But no, so he did this really cool giveaway, and you're so kind. He was gonna give out 3 CDs and gave out 10 of his project. I know. I swear to God, just like the nicest fucking people. I cannot deal. You are so kind. But that song is a fucking, I mean, it's a banger. Like, let's be real.
Thank you.
I don't know if you watch Parks and Rec, but
I've seen a few episodes. I haven't seen the whole thing though.
So there's for the people who listen who know, there's an episode with Tom Haverford, and he's like, these are all the qualifications for a song to be a banger. And I'm like, I was talking to Mike about it, and I was like, he fits Tom Haverford's fucking qualifications for it to be a banger. That's all I'm saying. No, but that song's amazing. Your falsetto is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was just produced beautifully. And it's lyrically beautiful. Very, very excited for you on whatever success you have with that. It's amazing.
Thank you. That song was, I remember I wrote it a while back, and this was even before I was trying to be my own artist. You know, I always wrote music, but I never really like pursued being an artist that much. And so at the time when I wrote the song and produced it, I wasn't even trying to be an artist yet. And so at the time I was trying to pitch songs to different like record labels and things like that, because a lot of times, like in the music industry, you know, people's songs they may not have written themselves or like produced themselves or whatever. So, you know, I was just like, at the time I was trying to pitch to labels and things like that, and no one ever picked up the song, which I think is mainly because, you know, typically labels will like pick up songs from producers or writers that have like clout already. So it's kind of hard to, you know, it's kind of hard to get in the industry. But when you're in the industry, you can, you know, it's you can go wherever you want. But you know, so eventually I was like, man, you know, this song's not really going anywhere, but I like it. I was like, I should just put it out myself. And it was like around the time when I was also like, I want to be an artist and like pursue that, you know, heavily. And so I was like, this is a perfect like first single to start off like really being an artist, you know, because the Atlanta project I put out a few years ago more as kind of like for fun almost. Like I wasn't in the mindset of trying to pursue being an artist at the time. And same with that Touch Me With Your Eyes track. But like when I put out Waiting on You, it was really like, you know, I want to do this, you know, for real.
It hits hard. Like I listened to it and I was like, why is this not on the radio? So Mike and I have been working very hard and like, put it on the station. Like we've been really just trying to like get, because it's, I mean, that's you dope. Listen to that's fucking, that's beyond radio worthy. Like that's, it's so well written and it's very catchy. It's in my head like all the time. Like everything you guys have dropped, like I go to the gym and it's just like Linnea and E, and like that's you saw I made a playlist. Like I made an L. It says awesome. E and L, and that's my playlist. And I listen to E's beats and whatever, just everything that you've dropped, and
that's awesome.
It's really fun. I have to make fun of myself a little bit because I'll talk to Marie about it, and I'm like, I don't want to seem like a fangirl because I genuinely like these people, but at the same time I'm at the gym and I'm like, I'm listening to my friends like. Listen to it. So awesome. They're not like they don't actually know me, but listen to it. Or like I sent you the video of like me in my car, like blasting his song. This is my friend. Like I'm. This is what it's like.
It's so cool.
This is what it's like having me in your corner.
It's awesome. I will take it. I will totally take it. It's amazing.
I'm like. The biggest just like life hype man, like for no reason. If you have good vibes, like I write random people on random days and I'm just like, I hope your day is beautiful and that you accomplish great things today because you're an amazing person. Awesome. And people are like, what the fuck? I'm just like, love
that's
you.
awesome.
Like if you randomly
that's really cool.
If you randomly get one of those texts, I was just thinking about you. That's all.
That's awesome.
No, but like seriously, I don't know how people are even sleeping on you right now. Like that's a real thing. And that EP you just dropped, so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks.
Also, like it's I know it's like before the EP, but like Drunk Butterfly. That is my shit. So anyone who's listening to this, I need you to listen to everything that's come up. That I don't know what it is, but it comes on and I'm like, yep, we going in, son. Like, is that kind of day today?
You want to bang your head? You're just like,
It's so good. It's so good. So I am curious about the creative process. But like I guess with anything really.
Yeah. So let's see. For like beats and stuff like that, like for the beat tapes and the instrumental stuff, a lot of that is more, especially because when I was doing beat battles and things like that, like I would basically, it's basically a rap battle where there's two rappers and they both like are trying to outperform the other person, except with a beat battle you're on stage in front of a crowd, and each person has 1 minute to play a beat. And so it's like you're head to head, it's tournament style, so it's like two people go up and you play a beat one against the other, and there's judges. Sometimes it's crowd judged as well, so sometimes like there'll just be an MC and he'll be like, scream if you liked Egomi's beat, or scream if you like, so whoever the opponent is, and so with those it's like, you're on stage and basically the goal is just you need to make the hardest hitting, loudest, something that just catches people's attention and makes them go like, oh my, like where did that come from, kind of thing. And so a lot of times with the at least with like the Jaded beat stuff, a lot of those beats are fleshed out versions of my battle beats, so they're just like loud, obnoxious, beats that are kind of just like hype, like super hype.
They're so good. The one drops, it's like, I'm gonna beat you at your own game, and I'm like, oh, he fucking did it! Like, oh, you fucking kill me, dude. Oh my god, it's just like, it just hits so hard. It makes me so fucking happy. And like, it's cool because like we were talking about earlier, like with those battles, it's like you gotta find some like hits people like in the right spot. Like I feel like you can hit people and they can feel it, but you gotta hit them in the right spot. And you found that sweet spot. I don't even know what the fuck it is, but like I'm not like sits around and just like listens to beats or whatever. Like I might search sometimes and be like, oh, what could I like write over this just for fun? And so I was listening to some of your beats and I was like, let's go through the internet. Like, let's go through YouTube and find some other stuff. And I was like, not feeling it. It's awesome. It's not E, man. Like, it's just, I'm not for it. Then I saw you were like, you can buy my beat. And I was like, oh. Oh my goodness. One moment. Sorry, my child's dying or something.
Uh-oh. They're okay.
Yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, those they're really fun to make, and those are, I don't do many beat battles anymore. I'm trying to not do as many just because there's not really like a future in that. It's kind of like rap battles. It's like it's fun if you're in the community, but there's not really like, you're not going to get famous as a rap battler or a beat battler. I'll be famous as a producer if I produce for Taylor Swift or or Kanye West or so. Well, maybe not him now, but like but
no shade. No shade.
No shade. No shade. I love Kanye. I just not sure about his current situation, but but yeah, so I'm kind of trying to go that route, and so I've stopped doing beat battles so much, and so the beat tapes and stuff, they're more for like, because I've built a following of producers and stuff like that they'll watch my tutorials and things like that, and it's super fun to do, and I really enjoy it. That's definitely a part of me, but that's not all of me, which is kind of why I was like, I'm gonna chase the artist thing as well, and still try to like produce for Linnea and try to produce like hits that hopefully will be on radio and stuff like that. But the Beats by Egomi stuff is kind of just like an outlet for those just heavy hitting beats and stuff like that. So
it's cool to see you putting out like the tutorials for people too. That's super sick.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're fun. They're fun to do for sure.
Everything that I've heard that you've produced and put out, it's so good.
Thank you.
I mean, like I don't think there's some that's come out so far that I haven't haven't liked. And I'm trying to stay current with y'all. Y'all are just dropping shit like left and right, and I'm so. I know that y'all dropped Linnea's song, and then there's a video this Friday.
This Friday, yes. There's gonna be her music video for "Fuck My Feelings Up with You."
Are y'all dropping something next week?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because you guys are like staggering. So like, right?
Yep. Yeah. So then she's dropping another single the next week, and then I'm dropping a single the week after that.
Right.
And then she's dropping another single, and then I'm dropping another single, and then she's dropping. So like literally, my goal of 2020 is to be a part of some sort of release every single Friday.
That's
and
dope.
if we'll see how. Hopefully I can get through the year, but we'll see. That's a huge task. That's not easy. Most artists don't do that. So it's kind of like a big workload. But I don't think it's impossible. So that's the goal.
Yeah, no, you guys you guys are like rapid fire right now. That's awesome. That just means my playlist is gonna get a lot bigger and I have a lot of videos to watch. Yeah, I'm super stoked about it. I'm so stoked about it. I don't think I have like a shitload of more questions. I don't know if Maria has anything to add.
Oh no, I'm sitting here listening to the
honestly, like I'm just always like, I just want to hang out with you, man. Like you guys are so nice.
No, it's all good.
I'm not okay, Maria can tell you very well. I'm that person that I'm like, I like that person. We're gonna be friends and it's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just gonna keep being nice to you and like putting my energy out there and hoping that you I do though.
Yeah, but see, you're the more that's why this relationship works, because you're the more outgoing person. I'm the more introverted kind of.
Which is really
I kind of tag.
That's like Linnea and I. She's the extroverted version of me. Mm-hmm. Like I'm more introverted and she's more extroverted, but we work well together. And
it's so funny. Like if you showed up to my house, I'd be like, but like on the internet, I'm like, what up, best friend? Like,
hey, that's how it is.
I can know you like my whole life via the internet. I can talk to you on Skype. And then like you get in front of me and I'm just like, I got a toast tattoo in honor of the weird community that we've made. Like,
which is awesome. It's the coolest thing ever.
Oh my god, it's gonna be sick. I'm so stoked. I'm stoked. I'm super stoked for everything that you guys are gonna be releasing, that you're gonna be releasing, that you're producing and working on. I'm excited to hear more of your voice. It is like fire, dude. You have a you got a powerful voice going on over there, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I was not ready. I was like, who is this?
Yeah, I'll be releasing stuff with my voice. So the next single is on the 31st, but I will be releasing a video that I'm singing in before then.
Okay.
So I'm not sure when, if it'll be this Friday or next Friday, but I am releasing something, and then I'll release another single on Valentine's Day, and then a whole EP on March 6th. And then hopefully I'll be releasing a song a month after that. So
you're releasing another EP in 2 months?
Yeah, yep. And that one is vocal. So that one I'm singing on and everything. So yeah, so I'm super excited. It's my best music by far.
I'm telling you, dude, like
so far.
You were busy in 2019. Shit.
Yes.
That's amazing. I wasn't ready for that news. I'm here for it. Wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Lots of new music.
So is there anything before we go into our like fun this or that, or not this or that, whatever, would you rather questions? Is there anything like message, thought, whatever that you would like to put out into the world before we go into close this up?
I mean, I've got so much music, so just keep following us, and it's the same with Linnea. So just hopefully you guys like all the new stuff, and I think thanks everyone who's listening or watching for just taking the time to be interested in obviously Heather and Maria's life, and then my life as well.
Yes. Thank you. And you can follow Egomi all over the place. Egomi Music or Beats by Egomi, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all the things.
Pretty much.
Spotify,
pretty much
like
everywhere.
Yes, find E everywhere. Before we jump into this, I just want to say thank you. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to talk to such kind people such as yourself, and to have the opportunity for you to give us the opportunity just to, like, it's gonna sound weird, but just like have your energy. Like, you bring a very calm and kind energy to the mix, and it's really nice.
Awesome.
It has really been an absolute pleasure.
Same.
Yes.
So
Enjoyed this.
Now that I've been nice, we're gonna get.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Some of these I feel like
shoulders.
Some of them are weird. I didn't make these up though. Okay, this is the internet. The internet's
all right.
Oh,
let's do
before we get into weird things on the internet, also, Egami's family made Facebook. Egami was a Kids Bop kid. What other lies are out there, E? What else is going to be on your Wikipedia page?
I know, right? There's so many lies. I'm sure that will come up. That, I mean, yeah. Once I get a Wikipedia page, it will just be full of bull. That's what it will be full of.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to throw it in there.
So many lies. I love it. It's hilarious. It's so funny.
Okay. Pull it together, Heather. First one. Would you rather the aliens that first make contact be robotic or organic?
Ooh. Which are scarier?
Right, they're both scary.
I mean, I'll say I would rather them be organic.
Same. Okay, I think I know the answer to this one. Would you rather lose the ability to read or the ability to speak?
I would rather lose the ability to. Gosh, that's tough. To read.
I would agree with that, because you can always say what you need written, or you can have someone read to you. But
audiobooks all day.
For life, man.
Yep.
Oh, what's this one? Okay, would you rather have a golden voice or a silver tongue?
Ooh. Golden voice.
Yeah, I agree. Ian and I are very much alike right now. I'm here for it. Rather be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Oh, I missed the first part.
Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Scales.
I mean, there's fur. I was gonna make a mean comment, but I won't. There's people. Would you I like this one. Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off of your life?
I'd rather be in jail for a year.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose a year.
Yeah,
but that's also because I just want to be immortal, and that's not a real thing. Forever. Okay, that's good though, to like life, so that's fine. Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
20 minutes early.
Early.
If I'm on time, I almost cry because I feel late.
Yeah, I am. For some reason, I have always been like, if something is starting at 9, then like, and you're supposed to be there by 9, then like I cannot be showing up at 9. I got to be showing up at like 8 something.
Yeah, I used to start when I was in cosmetology school. It started at 9:30, and I was at school by like 8:45, 9 o'clock. It was so bad.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
I'm terrible about it.
Yeah, there are some exceptions, but that's the majority
for
of the time.
Sure. For sure. Would you rather have a get out of jail free card or a key that opens any door? Interesting.
A key that opens any door.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, this one's neat. Would you rather
lock my keys in my car? That'll be nice.
I lose my keys all the time. Would you rather know the history of every object you've touched or be able to talk to animals?
What was the first one?
Would you rather be able to know the history of every object you touched or be able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll do 2 more. We'll do 10.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that's an easy one. We're not doing that. It's like, would you rather be... Well, it says, would you rather be married to a 10 with a bad personality or a 6 with an amazing personality? I'd rather be... like, come on, dude.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like... We are not those
There's
kinds of
some people that would answer the 10.
That's
Yeah.
true.
If I know that the people on this live are decent human beings, video or whatever. Okay, we already did animals. Would you rather have all the traffic lights you approach be green or never have to stand in line again?
Oh, geez.
I think I approach more lights than I do lines, so I'm gonna say green lights.
That's fair. The only line I don't stand is the DMV line. Fuck the DMV.
Oh, man, yep. I was at the DMV like last week. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Just like standing there. It was even like a short DMV line for a DMV, and it was still 2 hours. You know?
Oh,
it's like,
see, I'm in the country and nobody is ever there, so I go in there and there's like emptiness.
That's nice.
Okay, this is the last one. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
Anyone but myself.
Yeah, I think anyone but myself. I think I'd rather just let fate play whatever it wants.
I agree with this. I agree with this wholeheartedly. This has been so fun. I just want to talk to you all day, but I know that you're busy.
It has been fun. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no, I'm super stoked to have you
fun.
So we did talk to Linnea about doing a follow-up. I'm thinking probably like June, like give it like a few months so that you guys really, but like it'd be really fun to have you guys together.
That would be awesome.
That'd be super fun. So maybe like we can plan sometime in June, bring you guys back on and just talk about, because I mean already so much has happened.
Yeah.
I know.
So that'd be really fun. Just for a reminder, we will also put in the information of our podcast, the link to the Waiting on You video, where you can find the new EP, where you can find everything, all of Egomi's handles to everything everywhere. So please, like, we're gonna pimp E out. I just need you guys to go follow him and stuff.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's been super fun. I'm super excited to continue to follow along y'all's little journey. You know, I'm super annoying and like I hit you guys up at least once a day. It's so funny. I'm pretty sure my hair page has just become like a Linnea and E page because I'm like I'm at work today listening to Egomi. Or like, I'm in my car outside of work and I'm early making videos to Linnea's new song. Like it's just that's my whole. My work page isn't even mine anymore, which I'm totally fine with.
That's our lives too.
It's awesome.
Our lives. Do you play our lives?
I do. I play all your music on my lives because I want people to know who you are. That's important to me.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else important? I don't think there's. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Any important info?
Well,
No.
It'll probably happen when I'm editing this, and I'm like, damn it.
Okay.
That's what reshoots are for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Gotta do it again.
Oh boy.
No, thank you so much, E.
Yeah.